It is the Martha Zoller Show. Rod Huey's here with me today,
Morning,
and
morning.
joining us today is Roger Gewolb, who is a consumer finance expert. He lives in the UK. He's an expat, so he's an American, but he joins us every couple of weeks to kind of talk about what's going on across the pond and how that might impact us. And of course, Roger, the big issue in the last week was a wonderful one because they celebrated the Queen's Jubilee last weekend, and it looked pretty united all across the country.
It certainly was, but that's last week's news, Martha. It's been replaced by the greatest economic political crisis this country has seen in Lord knows when. For all the elegance, I mean, I've never seen the Queen muster so much elegance and grace as in this Platinum Jubilee. But we ended up at the absolute other end of the plumbing hours later with what's going on in our government. First, a few words about...
And Roger, we'll talk about that in just a second, but I like what you said about her mustering, because I noticed and nobody picked up on this, I don't think, but me. You probably noticed it, but in that last walk out to the balcony, I saw right before she crossed the threshold, she was really stooped over. And then it was like she was on. You know, she crossed over that threshold and she came out because she mustered everything. That's a great word. She mustered everything she could do to get out there.
Well, that's why I used the word. Absolutely. Did you like that green? What a color.
Wasn't that
something? Wasn't that something? Well, look, I mean, I was here for the Golden Jubilee. I was here for the silver, the gold, and now the platinum. This was the best of all. I mean, nobody does it like the Brits. This country, they really know how to do these things.
But then on Monday, was it on Monday or Tuesday when they actually did this vote of no confidence?
Yes, that was on Tuesday, I think. Just going back to the Jubilee for a moment, I'd like to give your listeners a flavor. I'm sure people saw this stuff on television. It was wonderful, but it was amazing. I mean, it all began on the Thursday evening with beacon lighting around the world. Now, a beacon, as the term is used here, is a metal pole, and sitting on top of it is kind of a charcoal brazier, if you will, usually with the initials E.R. Elizabeth Regina written on it. And it's filled up with wood, and it usually stands outside the village church or the village hall. And there were apparently 3,000 beacons lit on Thursday night around the world throughout the Commonwealth. The sun never sets on the British Empire, they used to say. It was magnificent, with the town criers in each town, in each village or each neighborhood of big cities like London, wearing their three-corner hat, ringing a bell, yelling, "Oyez, oyez, oyez, listen, listen, listen," reading out a proclamation about Her Majesty's 7 years. I mean, everybody was just swept away in tears. It was so moving. Street party after street party, flags everywhere. Never seen anything like it. It was amazing. But the centerpiece, as you pointed out, was Her Majesty on the day. Whatever you think of the monarchy, whatever you think of the other members of, there were quite a number of members of the royal family that weren't present. They weren't invited. They've been bad boys and girls, but it was just spectacular. And then, as you say, seconds later, there was this no confidence vote. Now, it's really important to put this, you have a presidential impeachment. The vote is not enough to impeach. You draw a line, that's over it. That's not this is far worse than an impeachment proceeding. This is a terrible situation which has thrown the country into turmoil. Now, no less than Piers Morgan, the world-famous broadcaster, said the other day on Rupert Murdoch's Talk TV international television station, how do you unite as a party to go to the next election when almost half your party wants the leader gone? So it's very divisive. And the Liberal Democrats, which are the third party, there's the Tories or Conservatives, then there's the Labour, and then there's the Lib Dems. The Lib Dems are almost certain, Martha, to propose a parliamentary vote of no confidence any day. So if the 148 conservatives who voted in their own conservatives only no confidence in our leader vote throw their votes in when all of Parliament votes and all the other people in Parliament who are not conservatives and who are likewise disposed to get rid of Boris vote, he could be kicked out. The other thing which people are talking about, which is quite amazing, is that he could be held for his serious crimes with an old law that will bar him from physically entering Parliament. So he can't even come in, which means we're coming to a stalemate. Now, the opposition, the Labour Party, led by Sir Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner, they are also under investigation by the police for what's called Partygate, for boozing when other people couldn't be with their dying relatives. And they have said that if they are fined, they will resign. That means we could end up in a few weeks with a totally leaderless country.
Wow. And, we thought we had it bad over here.
Nothing like it. It's incredible. Now, listening to the people talking before I came on, I did think of a parallel between the people that were quoted saying, look, we've got so much to deal with. Why are we worrying about what happened at the White House on January the 6th? It's the same thing here. Yes, Boris misled Parliament. He said there weren't parties. There were. Maybe he even lied to them. But, we've got a new wave of COVID coming in Europe, apparently. We've got the cost of living crisis, which is unbelievable. Our fuel price is going up by the minute. It's ridiculous, as is yours. And we've got the never-ending war in Ukraine and a million other things to deal with. Do we really need to worry about whether somebody had a sandwich and a glass of wine at a cabinet meeting? Who cares?
And here's the question, and we may not have enough time to answer it. We may talk more about it next time, but where's the leadership? I asked that question over here. We have a real lack of leadership. It seems like you've got the same problem over there.
I don't think so. I think Boris is a good leader. I think Boris has done a good job with COVID and a good job with Ukraine. Ask Zelensky. He's failed in other ways. He's a very, I was watching the film Darkest Hour about Churchill the other day, and of course he's Boris's idol, and the similarities between the two of them and their erratic behavior. He's a Churchillian figure. Yeah, he's not everybody's cup of tea, but he is a strong leader and gets things done. The problem is that if we let this all run out of hand and keep banging on about beers and sandwiches and wreck our government, wreck the opposition, there is no clear, strong leader to take over here. We'll end up with our own Biden.
Absolutely. Roger Gewolb, thank you so much for being with us today. It's always great to get your perspective, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Great to join you, Martha. Thank you.
Thank you.